Righto, so we had a bit of an issue when we rocked up to this camp here. Set the van, parked the van up, and then realised we were leaking coolant. Now, when we rocked up to Hyden, a light on the dash came on to say that coolant was getting a bit low. I thought that was a bit unusual, doesn't really happen much, shouldn't really use coolant. So I looked in the reservoir and it was a little bit low, so I topped it up, put a little bit in there, and then the next morning we left Hyden to head to Perth, and we come in and as we let 10 minutes into the journey from leaving Hyden, it come up on the dash again. So I pulled over, had a look, and it was low again, so that's a bit unusual. So put in a good 4 or 5 litres of coolant in, and kept going and just monitored it the whole way, and did the 350 odd k's into Perth, no dramas at all, but found out when we rocked up here to park the van, it started dripping, leaking quite badly, the coolant out the bottom. So I've got the inner guard out, and the leak's coming from somewhere here, which is very hard to see, and I can't really find it. Even I got the air filter out and everything here to get down in here. I've taken the bash plates off and everything to try and find it, which, like you can see, just coolant everywhere here. And it's not even actually a very good color of coolant, it's a bit filthy, so the radiator may need a flush. But somewhere, so I'm not sure if it's one up here, the radiator hose is just nuts, it's huge, and it's got all these other little hoses coming off of it as well. Yeah, so currently got it all apart, try to find it. Hopefully now that I've got the inner guard out, I can actually get into it. I think I might have to pull this wrap around these hoses here. It looks like I could see a bit of a hose pinched up in here, which could be, it looks a bit squished. So I might try and get that wrap off and have a look up there and see what's up there. But yeah, fun times. Righto, so a bit of an update. I got the hose out, sitting right there. I had to loosen the steering box to give me enough room to pull it up, out through here. So yeah, loosened the box off, got the hose out, and I found the leak. So this wrap here was wrapped around it, sitting between the bottom of the radiator and one of the, I don't know, bits of the frame or whatever. So it's been rubbing here, and it's rubbing there, and there is a hole in there. So it's one whole unit, this massive big bottom radiator hose, pretty intense. But I do have one in the back of the car spare, so we'll get that out, whack that on, and see if we can route it away, route it, put it away that it's not going to be rubbing. See how we go. Righto, bit of an update. We have the new bottom radiator hose in, and everything's half back together. We're just currently cleaning out the tank with oh, can you see in there? Bit of acid and stuff. So hopefully we can get that bottle a fair bit cleaner, because there's a fair bit of mud and stuff in the radiator. So I flushed it as good as I can without taking it out. Got it all back together, and now we're just waiting for that to finish before we can put some water in it, or put some coolant in it. And I'm going to run a radiator flush, drive around for a couple of days, and then I'll flush it again and top it up with some fresh stuff, and hopefully that is all good from there. We have found too that the engine mounts are a bit worn, and it's why, so the motor itself is actually collapsed down, or the motor mounts are collapsed a bit, so the motor's sitting a bit lower. And where, I'll show you what under here. So where the radiator hose goes up between, up there, between the bottom of the fan shroud and the radiator, because the motor's dropped, it's actually pinching there. So I'm going to get some new engine mounts to bring that back up, and then that should give us heaps more clearance around there, and it should be all sweet. So happy days. all back together. Just got to run it now and get it nice and warm so we can make sure there's enough water in it. I've got the radiator flush in it as well, so that should help clean whatever gunk is out in there left. And then once that's all sorted, we can drain it and then put some coolant in it and we should be good to go. Woo! After running around for a couple of days with the radiator flush in it, we drained and flushed it out, filled it up with some coolant, and then off we went.